Living on a Thin Line with Tony Vicich are carried upon. We are carried on ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com, strictly in a oral, AUREL sense. We are on YouTube on Comedy Schools. And, of course, we are here on Facebook Live. We come to you every day at 2 p.m. our time, which is Arizona time. It's a unique time, Arizona time. Unique because classically it is Mountain Standard Time, but during Daylight Savings Time, we don't do Daylight Savings Time, so we are actually Pacific Standard Time. So the exact same time in California and in Arizona. That doesn't make us the same. Oh, no, it does not. But we are on at the same time. So 2 o'clock Arizona time, we are your daily distraction from all the anger, anxiety, weirdness, and hoopla going on in the world today. The show is built around 3 things. It's on 3 platforms, and it's built around 3 things. Your questions and comments here on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com. Usually some knick-knack, some weirdo things, some little hoopla, some autographs, some memorabilia that we have laying around here in the home office that we weave a story around. And, of course, we recommend 2 artists or 2 pieces of music based on our vast vinyl and CD collection, vinyl album. Not just vinyl. If I just said our vinyl collection, could be like a vinyl hat. If I said like our neoprene collection, that would not make you think records at all. Records are not done on neoprene. Neoprene is like a really crappy kind of rubber that where they make really thick gloves. I think mainly it's where I had neoprene gloves when I worked in a factory when I was a young man. So no neoprene will be used during the making of this show. A lot of you may have noticed. Some of you may have not. By the way, Jim Perry says, I'm just waking up. Good morning. LOL. I believe you. I believe you. Jim Perry, our good friend Jim Perry, who he and I have gotten together to create for you a truly wonderful entertainment space, arena, and universe called JP's Comedy Club. JP's Comedy Club, 860 East Warner Road in the greater Gilbert area. Not just Gilbert, greater Gilbert, Mesa adjacent, Apache Junction's friend, Chandler's child, and Tempe's, well, you know, we don't have anything to do with those people. Well, they have great shows there every week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 shows, 7 and 9 on Friday and Saturday, 7 on Thursday, sometimes 7 on Sunday. This week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's none other than John Carden will be the headliner. Kevin Brown says, we are talking about rubbers today? Wow. No, we're not. Kevin Brown says, AZ time, Mountain Standard Time, sometimes. That's right. We should be called AZMST, Arizona Mountain Sometimes Time. No, would that work? Sometimes time? Look, there's Tina and Mike Lawson. Now, I was saying earlier, before I was distracted by our loyal listeners, I was saying that you may or may have not noticed, but we were not on Saturday or Sunday. By the way, for those of you wondering if there's some sort of optical illusion in the back, there is not. Directly behind me is none other than the grandson Sullivan, who's trying to hide. But you know what? You can't hide. We can see you. There he is. So our co-host today is none other than Sullivan Ramirez. He's giving everybody a wave. Giving everybody a howdy.
Are you talking about Lion King?
No, why would I be talking about Lion King?
What about Tiger King?
I'm not talking about Lion King, our Tiger King, our Burger King, our the King of England, our King Kong.
Okay, that's enough.
Our Elvis the King.
I don't think there's no Elvis the King. I'm pretty sure not.
Our the King of Kings.
I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure what?
Pretty sure there is no such thing.
Elvis the legend, Elvis the King.
I mean,
Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll.
Elvis was.
I don't want any arguments about Elvis during the show.
Yes.
I won't have
true.
I won't have Elvis arguments during the making of Living on a Thin Line with Tony Vicich.
Get back to the show.
Hey, Cheryl, can you you know what? We have a great house here, but in this little tiny room is packed a whole universe of gadgets and goodies and fun stuff, and also living creatures. In this room right now is, of course, my grandson Sullivan, who will not acknowledge the royalty of Elvis Presley.
He was not a king.
King of rock and roll. Don't try to lay no bougie woogie on the king of rock and roll. You go home, Sullivan, today and ask your mother if Elvis Presley was the king of rock and roll. She'll tell you yes, because she's raising you right. She's a good woman. In this room, of course, is Sullivan Ramirez. My producer happens to be my wife, Shirley Vicich, who goes, I'm not even talking to you about this. And my dog, Roscoe. 4 living human beings in a space usually would be considered illegal if you kept a dog in it too long. They go, that is an illegal kennel. But Kevin Brown says he's a very smart young man. Yeah, he's smart. He's smart, but he don't know nothing about no Elvis Presley. Sure, if you could turn on the fan, if you'd be so kind. It gets a little warm in this room sometime, and we have to step back in our technology a little bit and aid our air conditioner with a fan. Here's the weird thing. Like the bedroom where Shirley and I sleep is cold as ice. No jokes there. All right, but so sometimes we have to take a step back in technology and use a fan. Sullivan, that is, he was not a king. That's right. He's no longer with us. He's gone on to heaven to live with the King of Kings. The King of Rock and Roll now lives with the King of Kings. Amanav Goyle says, if Elvis is the King of Rock and Roll, what are you to comedy? I am the Grand Poobah. I am the Ayatollah of Comedy Ola. How's that? Can I bestow? You know what I actually am? A lot of people don't know this. People go, a person who cannot stay on topic? Yes, I would agree with you there. What I am actually is a colonel. I'm giving you just a moment. Just a moment to really let that sink in.
Who asked that?
That I legally, no one asked it, Cheryl. It's just people need to know. Sometimes people don't know what they need to know. They need to know that I really am a colonel, not the king of rock and roll. They need to know.
No, you're not.
I am a colonel.
No, you're not.
You know what? If you get my wallet, I'll show you my colonel card right there on my wall. Cheryl, take it down and bring it over here. Take it down and bring it over here.
No.
Right there, that
No.
plaque. That plaque.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. I am a colonel. No, not like Colonel Sanders. I ain't no chicken. Here.
Wait, does that mean you're also popcorn?
No, right there. Now, you can't read that because it's a mirror image. You can see it on YouTube. That is a plaque. Commonwealth of Kentucky from Stephen L. Bashir. So I've been a colonel for a while. I'm a veteran. To all to whom these presents shall come, greeting. Know ye that. That's what it says. Honorable Anthony D. Vicich, that is me, is commissioned a Kentucky colonel. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In testimony whereof, I have caused these letters to be made patent, and the seal of the Commonwealth be hereto affixed. That was a tough word for you to get out. Done at Frankfurt on the 25th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2013, and in the 222nd year of the Commonwealth. And it is signed by Steve L. Bashir, the governor, and by Allison Lind Grimes, and she is Lindengard Grimes, and I don't know who the hell she is. And right there is the seal. So now we've gotten this out of the way. Cheryl, you may place this back in its rightful place of honor in the room now, if you be so kind. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, no one can deny that I'm a colonel. I am a colonel.
Well, maybe you're part colonel.
I'm not part colonel. You can't be part
Like part
colonel.
feral.
I'm like what?
I'm part feral.
Part Phil?
Feral.
Part feral. That's true. He is feral.
Yeah, I'm not wearing shoes right now.
He's not wearing shoes. Matter of
And
fact,
I can
when
walk on rocks.
he came over today, he had forgotten his shoes. He said, I don't need no shoes. He'd have been right at home in Missouri. Wouldn't he have been Tina and Mike Lawson? I don't know how I got off on that whole crazy thing, but I did. But I am a colonel. I was off. That's originally what we were talking about. We were talking about me not talking. Go ahead, make your smart ass remarks. I'm waiting for them, each and every one of you. Saturday, and Sunday, the Lord's Day of Rest, we were not on. Now, we are now normally taking Saturday off because we need to take a little break every once in a while. Paul Whitney says, my 8th grader also forgets his shoes. See that? You're just like an 8th grader, although you're only 8. He's handing me a piece of paper here. And on this piece of paper is
Other side.
nothing.
Hold on.
It was handed a blank sheet of paper. But Sunday, yesterday,
Keep talking.
here's how I started my day. So hold on, let me finish this story, okay?
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah,
You draw it.
yeah, keep talking. I started my day as I got up early in the morning. For me, a guy who works nights. Kevin Brown says you can be part colonel. We call the reservist. That's what we called reservist or even weekend warriors. Part colonel. Yes, I am a colonel, but I am a man of peace. So go ahead and try to take a little piece of my heart. I got up Sunday morning and I went to Starbucks, but I didn't just get myself a cup of coffee. No, I did not. I ordered a carafe, if you will, a travel case. It comes in cardboard. That's how you say it if you're from Missouri, cardboard, that would actually pour 25 small cups of coffee. 25 cups of coffee, along with 25 cups, and then Splenda, Sweet and Low, Whole Earth, artificial sweetener, and sugar itself, and a nice large cup of half and half from Starbucks that only costs, you know what that costs? Anybody care to guess what that cost? 25 cups of coffee, 4 different sweeteners, cups, half and half, little stirring things, $19.60 for 25 cups. So the next time you go there and pay like $8 for a cup of coffee, you're being ripped off, and now it's your own fault because you have the information. Anyway, I started my morning yesterday by getting up bright and early and going to Starbucks and getting coffee and holding a coffee in the park. So here in the lovely community, not $2 million. That's wrong, Paul, not $2 million. If your guess was $2 million. Anyway, I just told you it's $19.60. You're going to have to start donating to the Operation Bobblehead Rescue Fund. I had a coffee in the park. Myself and another member of the HOA's board of directors had a coffee in the park so we can answer people's questions about the upcoming election, the board of directors, the HOA, etc. And only a couple people showed up, which is what I expected. I saw one person who's running for the board out here, and they're talking about we're going to have a candidate forum where people can meet the candidates and talk to them. I saw one guy say, because only 39 people can attend because of social distancing, we're doing it live in person. He goes, it seems like there'd be a lot more people that would want to attend for an event this size. And you know what? And to someone new, that makes sense. And to anyone, it seems to make sense. But we had a candidate forum 2 years ago, and only about 25 people showed up total. Of the over 1,600 homes here, only about 25 people showed up at the candidate forum. But man, if you go on to some of the Facebook pages that have the name Maricopa Meadows in them right now, if you do that right now, whew, you would think the world was on fire and this election was just like the president of the United States. And people are saying some ugly, weird stuff, man. Ugly, weird stuff. You know, I even had written to a couple people, you know, we're right down the street, don't you? And they go, yeah, I didn't think about that. You know, it's not like I'm arguing with someone in Saskatoon about the price of rice in China. Anyway, I held that. That's how I started my day. Okay, came home, did some things at home. Was totally tired because of the incredible week we had. Took a nap and completely slept through the start time of yesterday's show. Then I spent my evening answering a bunch of questions on Facebook about the election. And then Cheryl and I had pizza pie for dinner. And still at the end of the night, a former board member, here's what's caused all the trouble out here. And I know a lot of you are going, why are we talking about this today? Well, first off, I just woke up from a nap and I'm still groggy. But why are we talking about this today? Why are we talking about the Maricopa Meadows Homeowner Association Board of Directors election? Because I'm on the board of directors out here. But here's what happened. There was a gentleman on the board who voted with the board the majority of times. The majority of votes I believe you could go back, and I feel fairly certain, don't absolutely quote me, but I feel fairly certain, I comfortably say that he voted with the majority on what are mostly mundane issues, landscaping and weed removal and tree replacement and etc. He voted with the majority. But then he did not like the fact, this is what my life is, that we are talking about putting a public bathroom in our large 15 to 20 acre park, and that we might use a septic system. And he was totally opposed to that. And I go, well, we need to explore all the possibilities. He goes, yeah, but if we're exploring that, that's what we're doing. I go, well, I don't think that's 100% accurate. It is a possible thing, but he didn't want to then explore it, even though he and I had been to Global Water together almost 2 years ago and gotten the ball rolling on all of this. And then we hired a new property management company, and they hired a single individual whose sole job is our community. Now, he didn't like the person they were hiring. Fair enough. I certainly not like some of the people that I've hired personally. Didn't want to go for a car ride, hold hands, skip, trade chewing gum, swap chewing gum, or spit with them, any of that, but they did the job. So this gentleman quit the board of directors, which is fine, which is his right. Since I've been on the board, we've had two other people out and out resign. Maybe one. Okay. And one previous to that, because they'd sold their houses and moved. They moved, so they were off the board. But he quit because he did not like who he hired as property manager, even though he could have ran again and hoped that his consistent evidence would have prevailed and we could have gotten a different property manager, or that there'd been new people on the board and he could have voted with them. And I just quit and decided to attack me and everybody else on Facebook and to stir up the pot here in this town to where I was not even maybe going to run for the board this time. I thought, man, I've been on it for 2 years. We've done a lot of great work. We've done a lot of good things. We've really modernized some things. We've got a lot of things looking really good. I know what comes next, but maybe somebody else can handle it. But I was visiting with some people Saturday morning from a safe social distance. And he went, what is going on in our community? Why all the negativity? Why all the anger? And I said, well, there's not really. It's just 5 or 10 people on Facebook who constantly do this. They go, hey, you read it. So they make us look crazy. Now, yes, it's true. I may not know karate, but I do know crazy. That might be true. But it makes us look in such a negative light. So I decided to run anyway. Now, I might not win. All right, because, a board of directors is like a permanent emotional punching bag for anybody who lives in an HOA. Well, the board of directors, the board of directors, the people's next door to their house, why are they letting them grow their weeds? And then they get a letter about their weeds. You go, why are they sending me a letter about my weeds? Well, how do you know we didn't send them a letter as well? Man, when I lay it out like this, it sounds pathetic. But I like where I live, and I like most of the people where I live. I don't hate anyone where I live. There's some people who, I would not want to be in a long line at the grocery store with them in front or behind me, engaged in a conversation for more than 5 or 10 minutes. That's true. And I think it's important that since we have such a pretty community that we maintain it. And there's some who don't believe that. There's some who do not want electric lights in the park. There's some who do not want a modern public bathroom in the park. And I don't know, but someone who I was talking to about this said to me, they don't want electricity or public bathrooms. I said, yeah, but some people don't want it. Excuse me. And they said, well, it's not that they live in the wrong community. Maybe they live in the wrong century. If you'd been in Maricopa in the 19th century, you wouldn't have to worry about public restrooms or electric lights because there would have been no such thing. In 1820 or 19, well, it would have been in 1920. I don't know if they had electricity out here yet. I don't know if they had no electricity out here in Maricopa in 1920, but or if they had indoor privies. So that so consumed me yesterday that I totally slept through the start of the show. And now that you've watched this portion of the show, you're probably going, yeah, we kind of wish you would have slept with this part too. But I had to just get that off my chest. I had to get that out of my being, get it out of my soul. Okay. Hey, if you're looking for stuff to do, and you always are, okay, you can join. Put a Johnny on the soy in the park. I don't know what that is, Tina and Mike. A Johnny on the soy. I don't know if it's a slang for something that I don't know. I might not be with it. Please explain. That's what someone just posted. If you're looking for something to do, coming up on October 12th, if you're in the greater Gilbert area, I will be at JP's Comedy Club with a free intro to my stand-up comedy workshops. No obligation, no hard sell. You come by Monday at 7:30 and listen to what we have to say. And if you like what you hear and I like what you say, you go ahead and sign up, and we will get you on your way with our stand-up comedy workshops. Also, Tuesday, October 13th, there will be a free intro on Zoom at 6 p.m. You have to get all that information later on today on comedyschools.com. All right, we got that coming up. That's coming up. All right, Johnny on the spot. Oh, Johnny on the soy. Johnny on the spot. Okay, there we go. Oh, Johnny on the spot. I get what you're saying. Cool. I like that. All right, let's get to the music, shall we? By the way, no bobbleheads today, no memorabilia, nothing like that. I had a co-host, but he's drawing some pretty cool pictures right now. What? What?
Oh. Remember that promise you made?
What promise did I make?
To never cuss on this.
To never cuss on. I didn't make a. Well, all right. What about that promise?
You broke it.
Did I break it? I broke my cursing promise today.
And I'm pretty sure you broke it other days as well when I wasn't here.
Who said that?
Me?
Yeah. Do you have proof?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean he has proof? You might have a witness that's not proof.
We record everything.
We record everything. Have you watched it?
No.
No. He doesn't even watch.
Did he?
All right.
Okay. And
Okay.
I also have a little live stream.
All right. What is
It's a
this?
live stream of a live stream.
It's a live stream of a live stream. I keep thinking he's going to hit me. All right. All right. What is, let's see the picture.
Happened.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, a live stream of a live stream. And it's brought to you by young portrait of an artist, a young man, Sullivan Ramirez. There you go, Sullivan. Let's get to the music, shall we? We've chewed up plenty of time talking about porta potties, boards of directors, etc. Tita Michael says spell check. Johnny on the soy, Johnny on the spot. All right, I thought it was like maybe a modern sort of, if you're talking about a porta potty, we have them in the park. We've had them for years. Abhinav Goyal says, you owe Sullivan money. Yeah, you know what? Won't be long for you owe me money, Abhinav, so there you go.
Oh, he does. I mean, I meant to say, oh, yeah.
Go ahead. You had to bring it up,
Yeah.
Abhinav. You totally forgot
Yeah.
about the money part of this.
I did know.
He did know. We do have 2 porta potties in the park, but they are over a long. Those things are never meant to be permanent. They can be a wee bit of an eyesore. They serve an important purpose. We have a large park for that, for elderly folks out on the walk, mothers with their kids, when people have events up there. Paul Whitney says, how about a bidet in the park? Who could argue with that? Oh, you've just given me some fun info, Paul. How about a bidet in the park? Who could argue with that? Hey, to all of my friends who follow the Jewish faith, I want to say happy Yom Kippur. I just want to say that usually today, not too long after I sign off, I'm with a group of very talented writers where we craft and create political messaging and send out to various politicians and political organizations throughout the country. But many of them are now celebrating this important holiday for in their religion. We just want to acknowledge that and say happy Yom Kippur. All right, let's get to the music, okay? So we got 2 albums to talk about today, and it's almost like maybe I'll just get to one. How much time do I have left, Cheryl?
5 minutes.
I have been talking about
5 minutes.
board of directors for almost 25 minutes. I have I have abused my poor friends, family, and listeners with this long diatribe about this issue. Man, that makes me feel good. Makes you feel good inside.
I want to talk about this guy.
Adam Clayton Powell, keep the faith, baby. We actually have a spoken word record by Adam Clayton Powell. We'll talk about him soon. You should, by the way, you should know about him. He was an important guy in American politics. Sullivan, bring that over here. Bring it here.
I think I know.
No.
Looks familiar.
So this is Adam Clayton Powell, and this is Keep the Faith, Baby. Adam Clayton Powell's Message to the World, dateline January 1967, an exclusive live recording. So Adam Clayton Powell was a very, very important guy. Let me read you what it says in the back. How do you measure greatness? By the ageless beauty of the written word, by the inspiration of spoken eloquence. Or does the eternal slide rule measure man's greatness by his deeds and legacy for generations to come? There is no simple formula. But history will one day say of Adam Clayton Powell, the noble acts which he did and his greatness, they are not written, for they were very many. And yet, Adam Clayton Powell is more than a summation of many noble acts. He has been a proud giant sequoia in the freedom struggle, oftentimes alone but never afraid, whether walking picket lines for over a quarter century, ministering to the religious needs of one of America's largest churches, passionately fighting for more jobs, loudly defending the rights of all Black people, or skillfully guiding 60 major bills through his Education and Labor Committee to final passage. The genius of Adam Clayton Powell has found expression. He remains, after 58 years, that world historical individual and universal man, loved by many, feared by some, hated by a few, but acclaimed by all. To endure is greater than to dare. To tear out hostile fortune, to be daunted by no difficulty, to keep heart when all have lost it, to go through his intrigue spotless, or to forego even ambition when even the end is gained. Who can say this is not greatness? Indeed, this is greatness. Adam Clayton Powell. And this is then a spoken word record where he is speaking on topics of the day. Side one, keep the faith, baby. Side two, my dear colleagues. Once again, still on side one. And then finally, handwriting on the wall. Side two, burn, baby, burn. Death of any man in one day. So Adam Clayton Powell was a African-American member of the House of Representatives representing his district in Harlem in the 1960s. He stood out for many things. One of the things that he stood out for is that he was a Black man in Congress at a time when that was a true aberration. He stood out because he did not try to fit in and bow and kowtow to those individuals that controlled Congress at the time, but a man who truly stood up and fought many of the great civil rights of the 1960s, along with greats like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And he was really a man of his people, and he was a man of his time and of his place. And because of that, of course, he was constantly attacked, degraded, and vilified. But he did endure. He did endure. And even though that's not who we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about Adam Clayton Powell today. You don't know who he is. You don't know who he is. But now that I've said his name, perhaps maybe you do. All right? Shirley has put into the comment section here, and I'm going to put it on later on, the YouTube link to this spoken word record of Adam Clayton Powell, Keep the Faith, Baby. Listen to it. It is a testament of the time, and yet it is timeless. And for all of you who really fear sometimes that a bad cloud is covering us right now, keep in mind that it's always darkest right before the dawn, that other people have had to endure the gaining of liberty and freedom, and then the constant struggle to keep it, and sometimes lose a little of it till we march forward. Adam Clayton Powell. All right, that's our show for the day. We've gone from me talking about porta potties in the park here at Maricopa Meadows to the great man, Adam Clayton Powell, whom I salute. Happy Yom Kippur. Thanks a lot for listening. A Vote Biden sign tomorrow. I will show you, Cheryl, don't let me forget, tomorrow, my collection right now of Democratic yard signs. Some of them we've got in the yard, some that we're putting up. But we've got them, and we're going to show them to you. Thanks for listening on behalf of today's guest co-host, Sullivan Ramirez, my wife, who happens to be my producer, Shirley Lovisic. We want to thank you for watching Living on a Thin Line. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, YouTube. Turned off.
Almost. Say it one more time.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye.